Guys, we are live as always. Dr. Hunter Pinesett here, and today some very important lessons for you guys as pre-meds who want to get to medical school. You have to be able to learn from the lessons that are around you, and you can learn from other people's mishaps, so that way you can proactively avoid, potholes and mistakes. And instead of being in damage control mode all the time, you can actually actively form your pre-med track and get into medical school. And for many of you guys, you feel like you're in damage control mode. So we're going to talk about President Trump's recent impeachment and what you can learn from it as a pre-med that will help you get to medical school. So are you ready to learn that? Let's get at it, y'all. Here we go. But stop making excuses. Stop whining. Stop, right? Get at it. No excuses. Just dominate. All right, I see some familiar faces on here. Meryl, what's up? Miles, what's up? Utham, what up? Pre-Med Pro, hello. Harpreet in the building. So today we're talking about Donald Trump's impeachment. The very first thing I want to say is that this is an apolitical discussion in the sense that it doesn't matter what political party you affiliate with. This is about learning and about getting to medical school. So if you're here to put your political stuff aside and look at the facts of what happened and look at it from a perspective of what does it all mean to get you to medical school, that's what we're here for today. So this is apolitical. It doesn't matter which political position it is. We're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of it. And as part of this, what I want to reiterate, one thing that I'm always stressing with you guys as students, is that there are lessons everywhere in this life. Every day I learn something. I read every day, but more importantly, I just learn from watching the things around us. So I want to encourage all of you guys, no days on alert. We're constantly looking for ways that we can improve, things we can learn from so we can get better. So that's what we're trying to do today. And with this impeachment, how do you guys feel about the impeachment? What do you guys think it all means? And if you aren't caught up on what has happened, the Democrats have led a charge to impeach President Trump for funds issues going on, for undue influence things going on, a lot of different, essentially, manipulations and doing things he shouldn't be doing, running for president, also being president. That's what they're alleging. And they were able, because they have the majority in the House, right, to push this through and impeach him in the House of Representatives. However, right, this is only a partial impeachment in the sense that it must go over to the Senate to be completely done. But the Democrats are stalling on this, and they're demanding a fair trial in the Senate before they'll allow it to be passed out of the House into the Senate to continue the impeachment process. And what's hilarious is that the Senate will never do this, and so therefore the impeachment will never go forward. And because these are seasoned politicians, they understand exactly what the process was, and they understand that it was never going to go through. So it was a completely empty gesture. What the Democrats were trying to do was create a symbolic victory in a way to tarnish Trump's legacy and persona and weaken him heading into the election, and simultaneously strengthen their party as a party of action and take charge and power. But what I actually think, and this is just my personal opinion, you can have your opinion. Again, it's not politicals. This is looking at it from a public persona perspective, because as pre-meds, right, you're applying to medical school, they're looking at you, judging your actions, not based on intention, right, but based on the merit and what actually happens. So when we look at this decision by the Democrats to show their power and to tarnish Trump, I actually feel that they've weakened their position, because they come off as petty, they come off as spiteful, and they come off as time wasters. They're wasting our time with something that's going to have no real impact on our government, and more importantly, on us as people, and making America a better place every day, right? It's the same old status quo. And so I think it was bad politics any way you want to have it. And I think it's actually backfired on them. All that being said, do you guys want to understand the pre-med lesson from this? Do you guys want to hear the pre-med lesson from this? Here we go. Most pre-meds represent the Democrats in this situation, in the sense that many pre-meds, the reason they don't get into medical school is that they are solely interested in doing symbolic gestures. They have a resume full of symbolic activities. Hear me out, right? People are thumbs downing right now. Listen to what I'm saying here. There are so many pre-meds who do so much. They're involved in this, they're involved in that, they're involved in all these activities, but they're symbolic activities. They thought they had to check a box They had to fill a quota, so they're doing that activity for that purpose. But that activity and their experience in that activity is empty, both from a personal place and they're doing something that's not meaningful to them, but then also in terms of not impacting others and being something that A, is going to improve people's lives, and secondly, is going to appeal to medical school. Because if you're not progressing your career, if you're not doing something that's making you feel better, and you're not making other people feel better, what the heck are you doing? You've defeated the purpose. And so in this scenario, again, it's not about politics. It's about looking at the situation objectively as a student to say, wait a minute, can I learn from this? And for many of you guys, you can learn from this because that is what is separating pre-meds. So many of you guys are going through the motions because you don't know what to be doing, so you just follow the crowd. I always call them sheep. You guys just, whatever everyone else is doing, you follow that. Instead of actively thinking about, wait a minute, how can I stand out to medical schools? So now, how do we separate ourselves from everybody else who's going through the motions and has symbolic pre-med resumes? What's the separator? You guys ready? We're going to talk about it here. There's a couple things, right? I think it's 5 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. I want you guys, 3 things and then some offshoots. So 3 main things you have to do if you want to stand out as a pre-med and you want to have an impactful pre-med resume. Not a symbolic one full of empty things. You want a real resume that's going to move the people of medical school to love you, to like you, to see how powerful, how amazing you are. We ready? The first thing is when you evaluate activities or extracurriculars or experiences, whatever you want to call them, we must first make sure that everything we're doing is personally meaningful. If you're involved in an activity or extracurricular that isn't meaningful to you, that doesn't get you excited to go, you shouldn't be doing it. Why not, guys? Why should you not be going and doing activities that you aren't excited about? Thank you, Salahi. I think this is a good analogy. Right? Why shouldn't you go do things that you aren't, bam, I'm so excited to do this. Like I'm excited to be on here with you guys right now. Why shouldn't you do things you're not excited about? Why must it start there with a personal meaning? Couple reasons. The first is that at the most base level, if you aren't interested in something, if something isn't meaningful to you, if it doesn't matter to you, are you going to give it everything you have? Of course not. You're going to be, right, disengaged. You're going to be checked out because you're like, oh, I'm just doing it to do it. So if you aren't fully bought in, if you aren't fully there, if you aren't invested in it, then how can you expect to make the difference? How can you expect to be the standout? How can you expect to be excellent that medical school requires? You can't. So I encourage you guys, only get involved with things that you're excited about because then you're going to go the extra mile. You're going to do the extra little things and you're going to stand out in a major way that other people won't. The other equally important part of this is that how many of you guys fear being a box checker to medical schools? You fear that, oh, I don't want to be a box checker. I want them to know why I did these things. If there is no personally meaningful tie to that activity, if you don't have a reason behind why you did it, medical schools will not see you as the passionate person you are. They will see you as a box checker. Because a box checker is a person who does a lot of things, but there's no rationale, there's no reasoning behind why they would do those things. They can't see the connection, the connectedness. So we have to make sure that everything we do, we're engaged, it's personally meaningful, eggs will be engaged, but secondarily, because then medical schools will see why we wanted to do it. Our motivations. Does that make sense to everybody? They want to see that intention. And I like what Mike just said. A person with a hollow intention won't carry out a meaningful action. Let me pull that up here. I like that. A person with a hollow intention won't carry out a meaningful action. It's so true, guys. And many of you guys, think about this, how you guys live your lives. And this is, I'll sidetrack here in studying. Some of you guys sit down to study with hollow intentions. You sit down saying, I'm supposed to study, so I'm going to study. It's a hollow intention. It's for show. As opposed to sitting down saying, no, I'm studying because it matters to me. I'm studying in this moment to have this outcome, this directed learning towards this objective that's going to push me forward. And so you're disengaged, right? And you wonder what happens. We have to be very clear and intentional, right? I always say, right, we talk about deliberate intention with my students. We always are intentional in everything we do. So we have to carry that forward. So the first thing is we have to be personally meaningful. The second thing is every single activity we do, we must seek to have an impact. And the way I want you guys to think about this. This is a term you see people use, but it isn't clearly delineated. And if you guys stick with me, I'm going to give you guys a full example of this, walking you through one of my activities after this. So stick with me, hang out with me. If you're enjoying this, let me know right now and comment and let me know that I'm hitting home for you right now, that I'm giving you a message you needed to hear to move on to your next step. If this is your first time joining me, make sure you guys like this video and you subscribe so you can hang with me and stay with me and always be here when I'm live. Okay? The second thing is the impactfulness. When we talk about impact, what did Moki just say here? I'm saying congratulations, pop up in the box. Dr. P's insights are extremely valuable. They've helped me to land acceptance at UCSF. Ballin'! Moki's in a UCSF. I love it. One of the most competitive programs in the country. Congratulations, Moki. How come I'm just now hearing about this on a live stream? You gotta step your game up, Moki. You should be actually the first person who knows about this, Moki. Send me an email right now. Let's talk. Let's celebrate this. Congratulations. Okay, so impactful. When we say impactful, guys, you want to be an agent of change. Does everybody understand what that means, to be an agent of change? Who knows what that means? To be an agent of change. Who knows what that means? Hey, yo. Christine in the building. PA school. And now, Christine, you just texted me. We're up to 2. What? We got 2 this cycle as a reapplicant. Christine's into 2 PA schools. Love it. Everyone shout out Christine. Everyone shout out Moki. Let them know as a community we support them. It's what we all strive for. It's not about competition, right? It's about coming together to grow and to get better. And there's room for all of us, but we have to work on ourselves. So secondly, okay, here we go. Impactful as an agent of change. What does that mean to you guys? And when I say agent of change, what I'm saying is you have to look for ways to change this world. That's what being a doctor is. It's about changing people's lives. So as medical schools, I want to pick people who are already changing people's lives, because then I can see how they're going to continue to do that through their career. Right? You guys see me right now after medical school. I'm an anesthesiologist, all kind of stuff. I'm here, right? I'm on a mission. 1 million students by 2025 I want to empower. I want to change students' lives, flip the whole script. This is the same mindset I had as an undergrad, as a pre-med. For you guys, you have to do this as well. You have to, as you go into activities, think, wait. Before I get involved in this, how am I going to be able to be an agent of change? How am I going to be able to make an impact? Then once you're in the activity, say, wait a minute, how am I actively making an impact in this activity? How can I magnify that impact? And we're thinking that way because that impact, that's the difference for medical schools. We want to be an agent of change. We want to make the impact. Okay? So personally meaningful for us, impactful for others, changing those lives. The third thing is that we want to appeal to medical schools, right? Do you notice this is the third thing? It's not about appealing to medical schools up top. It's about something being personally meaningful to us that we're passionate about. Secondly, it's about impacting other people, doing things for other people. The third thing is then being appealing to medical schools. However, people forget this too, which is crazy to me, is that they're so intent on appealing to medical schools, they don't ask themselves, wait a minute, what are medical schools looking for? It's like showing up for a date and you're not even thinking about what your date would like to see. You're thinking about what you would like to see. How are they going to be attracted to you if you can't meet what they're looking for and their expectation? They're not going to want you. You could be the greatest thing, but if you're not their greatest thing, they're not going to want you. So as we go into activities, we also have to be thinking, well, wait a minute. How am I being appealing to medical schools? And there's a couple key ways to make yourself appealing to medical schools. And the first thing, and I always say this, and I think Kasim said it earlier. It might have been Harpreet. I forget whose name, who was. They mentioned the 2 Ds. If you guys get nothing else from this video, remember these 2 Ds. You must, as a pre-med, if you want to get into medical school, you must be distinct and you must be distinguished. Meaning you must be distinct in the sense that you are different from other pre-meds and you will add to the diversity of a medical school class. The second thing is that you must be distinguished, meaning you stand out above the pack, right? You're different sideways, distinct from the pack, but you're also above and better than the rest of the pack. Distinguished. So when we talk about distinct, we don't want to be, as to go back to our analogy of the impeachment of Trump, to me, the Democrats' actions feel like politics as usual, right? Partisan politics as usual, as opposed to being something different, something refreshing, something innovative, pushing our politics forward. As a pre-med, you want to be thinking that way as distinctive. I don't want to be doing the same thing everyone else has done for a million years of pre-med. I want to do something they've never seen before. I want to come into the application process and be so different from everyone else they've experienced, they have to accept me on the intrigue alone, right? We follow that with saying distinguished. So how do you go above and beyond in the role? It might be president of a club, it might be whatever, a million presidents of a club out there. But how are you going above and beyond that role to elevate it, to be better than all the other club presidents out there, to be better than all the other tutors out there? Does that make sense to people? Are we clicking now, the distinct and distinguished here? Do we understand what we're talking about? The third thing is that when we go into anything, if you're just filibuster and just words, right? Because how many times people tell you, oh yeah, I'm the greatest at this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, and they brag about themselves, but what are you always looking for? Concrete proof. Concrete proof. So you go on Amazon, world's best journal. Okay, great. What do you immediately do? What do you immediately do? You see this on Amazon, world's best journal, right? It's the best notebook ever, bound to infinity, steel bound. What's the first thing you do on that page? Shout it out right now, y'all. Put it in here. What is the first thing you do when you get to that page? Once you read that title, what do? Exactly. You scroll down to look at the reviews because you need tangible proof that it's just as great as they say it is. You want other people to say it to you. So when we talk about concrete outcomes, it's the same thing. So you can say how great your activity was, your experience was, how much you did, but it's all empty words to medical schools until you have concrete proof of it. You have to have the concrete proof. And in terms of medicine, right, you can't get Amazon reviews for medicine, but technically you can. And the way you do that, first and foremost, is the letter of recommendation. If you were trying to say that this activity was so amazing, it was groundbreaking, how can you not have a letter of recommendation that not only says you were there, but says that this was the greatest thing since sliced bread? And I've seen it. People send their application, they say, my research was a novel application of this. It was the first study ever to show blank. And then I look at their letter of recommendation list writers, and they don't have a letter of recommendation from that lab. I then ask them, wait a minute, how could this have been the first discovery? You discovered a new planet. How come the PI didn't write your letter of recommendation? Oh, well, I didn't get to know the PI very well. I'm like, wait, whoa. You discovered a planet, but you couldn't get in touch with your PI for a letter of recommendation? Something's amuck here. And that's how medical schools look at it is, wait a minute, you said all this great stuff, but where's the letter of recommendation? Where's the poster? Where's the journal article? You literally discovered a planet and you're telling me you couldn't get a byline in something? It's a discongruence. So we must have that letter of recommendation. The other thing is a tangible output, recognition. Did you get published? Did you get an award? Right? So if there's an activity, did you get an award for best club president ever? Right? We want to see those tangible items. Are you guys getting what I'm saying right now? It has to be a tangible item. The third thing you can do as a tangible outcome is the legacy part of it. And so many students forget this part. What have you done in your activity to create a lasting legacy where your name stands out, it's chilled in stone, and people will remember you, your children's children, they'll remember you for what you did there in that activity. We have to think this way. That's how we stand out. Are you guys all still with me? Are you guys all still with me? We're at 20 minutes, so we're going over here. So what I'll do is I'll put a link. I'll do another video breaking down my example of this and how I did this in my activities for you guys. I also, after I get done with this video, this is live action, I'm going to have a worksheet below for you guys so you guys can have a way of assessing your activities to see if you're on track to stand out to medical schools or if you're going to fall flat in your extracurriculars. I want you guys to check the description box for that as well. Did you guys enjoy this video? If you feel like, as Sohail just said, that I'm on point, I want you to take a second right now, like this video, and if you have not already, I want you to subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell to turn on live notifications so that way you don't miss when I'm live like I am right now. Everyone understands? Okay? Take a second, let me know that this video is of value to you. I would appreciate it. Okay? And if you guys want more, like I said, I have a bunch of stuff in the box for you guys. This is live, so I can't put it in the box right now, but I'll put it in the box in a couple minutes for you guys to go ahead and get these links. The other thing is if you want more of this, just visit my website. It's studenttransformation.com. Studenttransformation.com, that's simple. And then I want you guys, right, get the worksheet below, but I also want you guys to take a second, right, as this video ends, pull out a piece of paper, pull out a pen, and I want you guys to write down, what are you going to be? What is your legacy to medical schools? So when medical schools get your application, what are they going to say about you? What is your distinction? What is your distinguishment? What are they going to hang? What are you bringing to medical schools that they need? I want you to take a second and write it down. Because it's easy to rationalize in our head, but take a second and write down, what am I bringing to medical school? And if you can't think of anything or you struggle to articulate that clearly, you may be, like this impeachment, a very empty pre-med. And what we don't want to do is be empty, symbolic gestures. We want to be meaningful, impactful, powerful pre-meds that medical schools are going to love and have to have. Have to have. That's what we want. When I applied, I've said this and I said it again. When I applied to medical school, I knew I was getting into a top medical school. Particularly, I wanted to go to Stanford because I'm in California. I knew I was going to get into Stanford. Why? Because I took the time to really sit down and plan out my entire career and really think about what I was passionate about, how I was going to impact others, and how I was going to appeal to medical school specifically by having concrete output. So do this and you will be successful as a pre-med. I thank you guys for joining me today. I'm Dr. Andre Pinesett. I'm here to help you guys become your best. Right? No matter what the obstacles you face, right? Whatever the excuses you have not to succeed, I'm here to show you that you can dominate in spite of whatever you're going through. So I appreciate you guys being here today. Have a wonderful day. Yes! Calvin, I'm glad you enjoyed this message. Guys, got your notes on it right now. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful day. A wonderful Christmas season, Hanukkah season, Kwanzaa season, if people still do that. Whatever your season is, happy holidays to you. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Later. Today is the day, guys. No more excuses, no more complaining. You're going to take your future in your own hands. You're going to dominate. You're going to be successful. Get to my website, studenttransformation.com. I challenge you. What are you going to do today to make your life better?